old school guys. I love you old school guys with the dictaphones instead of the. I just imagine you at home with your typewriter.
Afternoon, guys. We'll start with the broadcast section with no embargo, followed by an embargoed section for 10:30 p.m. tonight. No live tweeting during the broadcast section, please, and use the microphone provided. Jeremy.
Hi, Ange. Nice to see you. You ruled out Ben Davies for this match. Of the other injured players, any of them available or still missing?
No, it'll be the same as the weekend in terms of squad-wise. Everyone got through the weekend well, no issues from it. We could obviously protect a few guys in that. Pedro and Matters didn't start, so everyone's good. With the injured guys, nothing's really changed. They're still progressing, training sort of on and off with us, and hopefully over the next 7-10 days, reintroduction.
Pep's just said that Haaland may play. He's not sure yet. If he does play, will Gray and Datso take care of him, do you think?
Oh, it's a great challenge for them. Thought it was, Delap was a handful last week, last game, and Erling's, he's the premier striker in still, I think, in world football when he's up and running. So, great challenge, but obviously, whether he plays or not, it'll still be a great test for all our group.
But you're going in 3 straight Premier League wins. You've beaten City twice this season, and memories, of course, of the 4-0 thrashing at the Etihad. How confident are you about this one?
Yeah, look, how confident. You're always looking forward to the challenge. Man City are an outstanding football club, great manager, still got great footballers, and still play really, challenging football to any opponent. So, but we've enjoyed the games against them, whether that was this year or even last year. You're going to get a good football game. They're going to try and win. They're going to play expansive. We're going to try and do the same, and it's going to be a good test for us.
Just finally, we hear you're talking to Rodrigo about a new contract. Benson Kerr's got, I think, to the end of next season. How good has he been, and how confident are you that he'll extend?
Yeah, Rodri's been great. In terms of his contract situation, again, that's handled by other people, and obviously we're, a lot of our kind of strategising is not just short term; it's about the longer term. Rodri, I think, especially sort of this latter period is really sort of getting back, I think, to the levels he wants to be. He obviously was coming off a long-term injury last year, and then came back, looked really good, then got another injury, and it's really disruptive. And then even this year, he got a bit off to a false start with obviously his long suspension. So, but you can see that he just needs regular game time, and he's getting up to speed. And really good guy as well around the group. He's experienced now, and from our perspective, in this run-in, he's going to be really important.
Alex. After the 3 league wins in a row, has there been a significant change in mood around here? Have the players been lifted by those results?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's dismissing that we lost 2 cup games in there as well, so it hasn't been exactly 3 in a row. So we understand that there was a disappointment in there, but look, I think the last couple of games in particular has certainly given us encouragement in terms of just being able to re-energise the group, whether that's the guys who worked really hard through that period where obviously we were really challenged, or the guys coming back in. There's just a real good energy around it, because I think the guys who kind of missed out all that, they've been really keen to contribute, and they're seeing the enthusiasm that Vicario and Brennan on the weekend, Mattis coming back in, Destiny, these guys have brought. It's helped the rest of the group. So I think we've benefited from that, the 2 weeks we've had of no midweek games. So all those things, and obviously then you get 2 wins, which makes people feel good, and it's something for us to build on.
With those players returning, with those wins, is there an element of frustration as well, sort of what could have been had you had those players?
Yeah, look, potentially, because I've always said that, I still feel like we're on the right path, and yet every other indicator you look at, when you're looking at a sort of sporting club in terms of results, doesn't really show that. But I've always felt that we're building a really good group of players who have a lot of growth and potentially could could really make an impact, but we just haven't been able to do that. But having said that, there's still plenty for us to play for this year, and still an opportunity for us to make a real impact.
They do say things come in threes. Just how big an achievement would it be to beat Pep's Manchester City side 3 times in the same season?
Yeah, some things come in 33s. I just felt like, look, like I said, it's always a challenge when you play City. They challenge you in ways other clubs don't in terms of their football. And I know that they're obviously, for them, they're going through a rough trot. But their football is still a real challenge to play against. But it's a great challenge. It's what you want. You want to measure yourself. Because like I said, they're going to come here and try and play and be dominant on the ball. We want to be dominant. And against Man City, you can't be. It's impossible to be sort of dominant in all facets of the game. They're going to have times in the game where they take control, and it's how we cope with that, how we deal with that. We've done that not too bad in the games we've played against them. And for us tomorrow, that's going to be the challenging bit. I think, when we have our moments, we've got to show the quality. I mean, I know we beat them, the scoreline sounds like it was convincing at their place, but it was the quality of our finishing that was the difference. We didn't create a lot of chances, but the quality of our goals was high up, and you have to against them. So, love coming up against Pep's teams, and looking forward to it.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks, Al.
George, behind you, please.
Angelo, since Guardiola's been in England, Tottenham have just sort of been a real bogey team. It's Liverpool and Spurs. These records are not great against. And I just wondered, what is it about you could potentially beat the Premier League champions 3 times in one season that this Tottenham team seem to thrive on playing Man City?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's... I don't know how much you can read into that kind of stuff because, over the course of that time, I guess he's faced different types of sort of Tottenham teams and different managers. So sometimes it's just circumstance. But I know from our perspective, for the most part, against kind of the teams that are challenging, we've done well in the 2 years I've been here. I mean, there's been a couple of games we got blown away. For the most part, our struggles have been against teams that aren't doing as well in the league rather than the teams that are doing well. And I think part of that is because we're playing against teams who are also trying to sort of dominate the game, and that allows us to play our football. So, but at the same time, you can't be dismissive of the quality they have. And like I said, it looks like they're going through a really rough trot at the moment, but that's because of the unbelievable standards they've set over the last, well, since Pep's been there, to be honest, in terms, not just results, in terms of the football they play.
What have you made of them this season? Because they've had injuries, probably not as bad as you, but I was just wondering, what have you made of, probably some people say they drop off or decline this season. What have you made of it as another manager? Yeah,
look, I think it's just the way of elite sport, and it just sheds light on how extraordinary they have been. They should, the fact that they did win 4 in a row and the consistency of that 4 in a row, of just the sheer numbers they accumulated in terms of points, in terms of goals, in terms of wins. It's just, competing in all. It's just an unbelievable and probably unprecedented standard that they set. And it's only natural that that's never going to continue forever. I mean, that's just not sustainable. But you know what, if they bounce back next year and win it, which I don't think anyone in this room could discount that's possible, and you say they've won 5 out of 6, you'd be going, they're still pretty good. So more than pretty good. So, it's sometimes these things happen, I think injuries, key injuries and some things that go on against them sometimes just brings you back to the field, and that's elite sport. It's just fine margins.
I know you touched on him briefly in Friday's presser last week, but I just wanted to ask you again about Jed Spence. I mean, how he's just sort of broken into the team, and he's taken advantage of probably other players' injuries, not in a bad way, but he's just taken his opportunity, and I just wondered what you've made of him really this season.
Yeah, as I said last week, he's been outstanding. He continues to be outstanding. The challenge for Jed is to keep going, not to be satisfied with what he's got now, and with the same hunger and attitude that he's taken his opportunity. As you said, that's all you can sort of provide is an opportunity. He needs now to make sure that he doesn't look back from that and keeps pushing on because he's got still so much I think growth in him and potential. He hasn't really been settled in his career apart from sort of maybe the year was at Forest where he kind of really had some great form, but since then it's been stop-start for him. Or he's just got to ensure now that he's up and running, he keeps going.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Pass down to Ali, please.
The world's slowest relay, obviously.
Hi, Ange. I just want to ask you about Timo Werner. Is he available at the moment, just hasn't been getting in what's a stronger matchday squad, or is he not quite there yet?
No, he was only really available for the weekend, but because of the matchday squad and the kind of makeup of the squad, I left him out. Obviously, with Ben going out, we put Reggie on as an extra defender on the bench, but it was only Sunday's game he was actually available, but he's trained and he's available for tomorrow.
And on that, I just want to ask you, at the weekend you said it was kind of managing his minutes.
Yeah.
Has something else happened, or is this...
No, it's still the same. He's been carrying a little bit of a knock for a little while, and he's, to be fair to him, he's played through it. But I've said before that I think this is a real key period for us. I want as many players in the best possible condition for what's coming up. And, after this game, again, we've got a good 7-day break leading into then Europe League, which is those 4 games are going to be massive for us. And I don't see the need to push people at this stage when we've got others that, like I said, probably need the game time, like Destiny and Brennan Wilson, these guys who are coming back. So he hasn't re-injured or anything, but it's just, like I said, he's been carrying something that I just don't want to sort of push at the moment.
And Dane Scarlett, I just want to ask you about him. Looked like that assist at the weekend meant a lot to him, but obviously at a ground where he didn't have it was a tough line he had this week.
Yeah.
I think he's 3 games, he's got 1 goal, 2 assists. What have you seen his development since he's come back?
Yeah, look, he's working hard, Dane. Like you said, he's had a couple of difficult loans, and that's part of the process as well for him. We were just talking about Jed, who had 3 difficult loans. So, some of it is just perseverance and keep working hard and waiting for your opportunity. And he has done well for us. I said when he came back, he wasn't in the greatest physical condition, and he's working hard on that. And hopefully he gets more opportunities. As an aside, I've got to say, the assist is the most useless statistic in world football. Seriously, it could come off your backside, fall to somebody on the halfway line, and he scores, and it's an assist. So it doesn't impress me. But Dane's assist on the weekend was a good one. There you go.
Okay, we'll end the broadcast section there and move on to the embargoes section for 10:30 p.m. tonight. Dave.